This is a bank in Dhaka. It is February 2016. The lights are off. The staff have gone home for the weekend. Inside a server room, a printer hums. It is supposed to spit out a record of every transaction moving through the bank's account at the New York Federal Reserve. Tonight, the printer is silent. Someone has disabled it. On the other side of the world, in Lower Manhattan, the Federal Reserve is processing a series of urgent transfer requests. They appear to come from Bangladesh's central bank. The amounts are not routine. By the time anyone notices, hundreds of millions of dollars are already in motion. The thieves are not in the building. They are not even on the same continent. They are sitting at keyboards, working for one of the poorest, most isolated regimes on Earth. This is not espionage. This is a robbery run by a government. Chapter 1. The Hermit Hackers. North Korea is a country that struggles to keep the lights on. Its economy has been strangled by decades of sanctions. Its citizens have, at times, faced famine. And yet, that same state builds nuclear weapons. It tests ballistic missiles. It funds a military of over 1 million soldiers. The answer leads to a unit of hackers known to the world as the Lazarus Group. Western intelligence links Lazarus to the Reconnaissance General Bureau, North Korea's main intelligence agency. A subgroup, tracked as APT-38, is said to focus on one thing above all else: money. According to defector accounts and Western analysts, North Korea identifies promising children in mathematics while they are still in school. They are funneled into elite programs. Some are eventually stationed abroad, often in China, where the internet actually works and where they can hide among ordinary tech workers. They are not stealing for themselves. Every dollar, every Bitcoin, flows back to the regime. Chapter 2. The Interview. In late 2014, the target is not a bank. It is a movie studio. Sony Pictures is preparing a comedy called The Interview, in which 2 American journalists are recruited to assassinate Kim Jong-un. Pyongyang calls the film an act of war. In November, Sony's network collapses. Employees arrive to find skulls grinning on their monitors. Internal emails leak. Unreleased films appear on piracy sites. The attackers wipe entire systems clean. The FBI publicly blames North Korea. For most observers, it looks like a tantrum. But inside the intelligence community, the tools and the fingerprints are being noticed. The same group that just humiliated a Hollywood studio is about to try something far more ambitious. Chapter 3. The Typo. Back to that bank in Dhaka. For months, hackers have been quietly inside the network of Bangladesh Bank. They have studied how it uses SWIFT, the global messaging system that moves trillions of dollars between financial institutions every day. On a Thursday evening, with the Bangladeshi weekend approaching, they strike. They send a flood of fraudulent transfer requests to the New York Federal Reserve. The total they are reaching for is close to $1 billion. The Fed begins processing. Tens of millions route through the Philippines into casinos where the trail effectively dies. And then, a small miracle. One of the transfers is bound for an organization in Sri Lanka. The hackers type the word foundation as Fandation. A bank in the chain flags the spelling. Questions are asked. The remaining transfers freeze. The thieves get away with about $81 million. Most of it is never recovered. It is one of the largest bank heists in modern history. And it was carried out, U.S. prosecutors will later allege, by a government. Chapter 4. The Worm. May 2017. A nurse in a hospital in northern England tries to pull up a patient's file. The computer refuses. A red screen appears. It is demanding Bitcoin. Across the United Kingdom, the National Health Service is grinding to a halt. Ambulances are diverted. Surgeries are canceled. The same red screen is appearing in Spain, in factories in Asia, in shipping offices in Europe. Within hours, hundreds of thousands of computers across more than 100 countries are locked. The malware is called WannaCry. It spreads on its own, slipping from machine to machine through a flaw in Microsoft Windows. The attack is eventually slowed when a young security researcher accidentally trips a kill switch hidden in the code. But the damage is enormous. Investigators find code overlaps with earlier attacks, reused tools, reused infrastructure. The trail leads back once again to Lazarus. In 2018, the U.S. Department of Justice files charges against a North Korean programmer named Park Jin-hyuk. The indictment ties him to Sony, to Bangladesh, to WannaCry. North Korea denies everything. It calls Park a fiction. A single state-sponsored crew, hitting studios, central banks, and hospitals. And it is just getting started. Chapter 5. The Pivot. By the late 2010s, traditional bank heists are getting harder. SWIFT has tightened. Every wire transfer leaves a paper trail. But a new kind of money has emerged. One that does not need banks. Cryptocurrency. For a regime locked out of the dollar system, crypto is almost perfectly designed. It is global. It is fast. It is, in the right hands, deniable. North Korea pivots hard. Lazarus operators begin targeting crypto exchanges and the bridges between blockchains. They pose as recruiters on LinkedIn. They befriend developers for weeks before slipping malicious code onto their machines. March 2022. The target is a video game. Axie Infinity relies on a piece of infrastructure called the Ronin Bridge to move cryptocurrency in and out of its economy. According to U.S. authorities, the attack began with a fake job offer sent to an engineer. A PDF, a single click. The hackers drained the bridge of roughly $600 million. February 2025. The target is Bybit, one of the world's largest crypto exchanges. The attackers do not break the front door. They go after the process by which Bybit moves funds between its own internal wallets. By the time the company realizes what is happening, around $1.5 billion in crypto is gone. It is reported as the largest cryptocurrency theft in history. Investigators, again, point to North Korea. Chapter 6. The Country That Steals. The question that haunts all of this is simple. Where does it go? United Nations expert panels have reported year after year that stolen cryptocurrency is helping to finance North Korea's weapons programs, including its ballistic missiles. Sanctions are designed to deny the regime hard currency. Hacking is how the regime gets around them. Every successful heist is, in effect, a missile test waiting to happen. Other countries hack. Russia, China, Iran, the United States. They steal secrets. They sabotage rivals. But they fund themselves through oil, taxes, exports, trade. North Korea has built something different, a government whose budget depends in part on robbery. The world's most prolific cyber thief, by Western accounts, is a country. Every time a security firm patches a vulnerability, the operators in Pyongyang find a new one. The cycle cannot stop. The missiles need funding. The state needs to survive. And so somewhere right now, a young programmer is sitting in front of a screen. He may be in Pyongyang. He may be in a quiet apartment in a Chinese city, posing as a freelance developer, smiling on a video call with a recruiter who does not know who he really is. He is looking for a way in. We do not know his name. We do not know what he tells himself about the work. We do not know how much of what he steals goes toward a missile or a palace or a meal that someone in his country will never eat. We may never know.